not enough to make me feel good about anything. I gave up on the idea of satisfaction, and I'm way better for it. Or I'm just the product of the eventuality of the Western mindset. Trying their best to forget consciousness. Trying their best to forget a sense of actual purpose. Well, I do cognitively, but personally, it chews me up and spits me out. And I guess I'm lucky to know that and not expect any different. Desire, which is probably why I suck at it. $3.99 over here, which is far better than California. Ugh. Where are my keys at? Where are my keys? I know that I have them because I drove my ass here. You know, that would be weird if I didn't have them. There they are. Yay, Thelonious has been fed.
He's like, I was so hungry, but you fed me gasoline. Thank you so much.
That's what my car would say if my car could talk. I've been listening to Amy Winehouse. sobbing. I've been sobbing because she should have just kept drinking. I mean, really. Quitting's what killed her. And the irony of it is if she'd actually gone to rehab, she'd probably still be with us. The cross is proof of the immense love of God and the profound wickedness of sin. True. You gotta relish the truth of these church billboards. Do you have questions about God? We're here to listen. No, you're not. No, the fuck you're not. Stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. I just talked with my priest about setting up an appointment. It's not confession. Because every time I go to confession, I'm like, should I be in confession or should we just meet for coffee? You know? Because, like, I don't really know if I'm confessing something or I just need to have this conversation. My priest is the only religious person I have ever met that understands that mental illness is not a sin. So, I was thinking about how, you know, religious terms and clinical terms essentially mean the same thing. So, religious terms, sin, clinical terms, disease. Okay? And I was actually watching something recently with a psychiatrist, and y'all know how much I hate psychiatrists, but every once in a while they're right about shit. This psychiatrist, who I really like because he's relatable, his name's Dr. K. He talks really fast. He talks like this. He was explaining mental illness like when you think that your thoughts are so much more important than everything else. And I think that that's just a really accurate way to describe, you know, obsession. And so obsessive compulsive tendencies and narcissism and addiction, like, they all come from the same place. Control. You think that your idea of something is more important than the actuality of that something. You see this with obsession involving people, places, and things. So obviously it was like romantic obsession, but political obsession. You know what we see with who's that guy in office? That one. So there's that. Whenever we think that somebody's wronged us, you see this with, you know, relationships that go sour, but you also see this on the freeway. You see this with substances and various dependence issues. You have this idea of what something does for you, and you can't seem to shake it, even though there's plenty of evidence to the contrary. There's plenty of evidence that strongly suggests that you are wrong about it, and you rationalize doing this to the ends of the earth, even though you're destroying yourself in the process. Other people around you can see it, you can't seem to see it, right? So yeah, it's all come from the same place. Possession. So it's this thought that possesses you, and it's obviously not doing good things for you, you know? Like, you have this idea of something and it's only taking your ass down, but there's this sickness to it. There's this, like, sick sense of control that you have being angry. I
mean, I do this with sadness. When I get really sad, it's like I just think that it's who I am. That's depression, I guess. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's depression, like, in the clinical sense, because I'm able to get out of bed and go to work, and I'm still able to do creative stuff. I'm still somewhat motivated to do the things that I know are beneficial for me. But, it's not helpful to call it a disease, and it's definitely not helpful to call it a sin. Because we get so stuck on that. I know that I definitely have. That's why I had such a problem with quitting marijuana. And I still don't want to say that I quit, because if I say that, then I'm like putting this pressure on myself, and then I'll feel guilty if I even, you know, fuck with it for any reason. And like that'll just keep me in that same headspace. So there's a part of the big book that it talks about how we cease fighting it. We're not fighting alcohol anymore. We're in a place of neutrality. And yeah, that is ideal. And so, you know, when you see people that are real, like, hardcore one way or the other, it's like, I actually think it's worse to be sober, but you're like an asshole about it. It's like, you might as well just drink if you're gonna act like that, because now you got this ego about it. And I'm really grateful that I did a lot of fucked up things that I did, because it humbled me and made me realize that it could just as easily, like, take over my life. It could just as easily, like, take over my mindset. And it's like, there are always going to be people that are so much worse than you, and there are always going to be people so much better than you. But just keep in mind, like, your life could be so much worse. Like, you could be in a way more debilitating situation. Yeah, somebody was sharing last night about how they had to say goodbye to their uncle because their uncle has wet brain, and it was just alcohol. He just drank himself into this state. And yeah, I know that, like, that could very well be me. Because all it takes is for me to just think, okay, I could just go back and do that again. But I'm really lucky that I know that I can't handle something like that, because of how obsessive I am. Like, I'm obsessive about all this other stuff that, you know, isn't killing me. It's not good for me to obsess about it, but it's not killing me the way that booze was killing me. But because I fully understand my condition, I don't think it's like alcoholism. I think it's obsessive thinking. So if you're an obsessive thinker, like, alcohol is going to take your ass down, because why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? But we have these false ideas of things that give us this. It gives us this phony sense of control. And it also gives us an identity. So if we seem to lack a sense of purpose, if we seem to feel like we're not good enough, we got an inferiority complex. It's like there's this thing that we can do, there's this thing that we can obsess about that will lie to us. And yeah, I can still do that. As honest as I am. Now granted, I don't enjoy it. So it's like I don't even get the benefit of it. It's like stupid as fuck, you know? But I don't know, man. I've just been thinking about the word disease a lot. And how, yeah, I didn't want to think of alcoholism as a disease. Because I feel like it takes away the responsibility of it. But at the same time, when you start doing something that literally engulfs your entire brain, and you can't stop thinking about it, every time you fuck with it, you do something stupid, or you do something that you really regret. And other people around you, then maybe they didn't believe that. Maybe they thought that you were exaggerating. They're going, fuck, I was wrong. I really should have told you to go out to the bar with me, man. I regret that decision. You know? It's like I'm so much better off alone. And sometimes this bothers me. Even though I know it's the right decision. It doesn't bother me because I'm lonely. It bothers me because I'm still in the world. And I still live in the West. Maybe I should just fucking leave. Maybe I should just go to a pygmy tribe, or just become a fucking nun. Everybody keeps telling me to become a nun. I feel like that's running away. Because I'm supposed to do creative stuff. And I can't really do creative stuff at the monastery. I mean, well, I guess I could, but I feel like I'm supposed to help people. And I also don't want to be surrounded by women. Just don't. I don't want to live with a bunch of women. Even if they're women of God, something tells me that that's questionable. But anyway. I don't like the term disease when we're talking about mental illness, because it makes it sound like I'm a bad person. And I don't think that mentally ill people, like, for a lot of us, we do have a guilt complex, and we are, like, highly conscious. And it's not conducive to, like, our recovery or whatever the fuck, to be told that we're just, like, diseased, you know? And I'm realizing that one of the main reasons why I had such a problem with the 12 steps, and, you know, sponsors that I had just didn't understand like the way that I was struggling. It's because like I was dealing with things that I didn't know what they were at the time. And I like to address something that's very aggravating. And I know that you don't mean it, okay? So I'm not taking it personally. I'm just saying this is very infuriating. Okay, when people tell me, oh, well, you don't really have schizophrenia because you don't fit the stereotype that I've been trained to believe in. So there's such a thing called a personality disorder. Okay, people that have personality disorders are a lot more equipped in dealing with them because it's part of our entire makeup. It's like how we look at things. It's a perspective thing, and our behaviors go along with that perspective. So I have consistently made decisions to accommodate to that. Rather than trying to fit in somebody else's mold, I have gone with crazy. I've made a commitment to crazy. And people that are labeled schizophrenic, much like I was just talking about, they have thoughts in their head, well, that aren't really in their head. I think that they're thoughts that aren't actually from them at all. I think that it's an entity that's attached to them that's telling them all kinds of fucked up shit. And they can't see that. So they just listen to those thoughts. Just like when an addiction takes over, you're listening to what the bottle's telling you. You're listening to what the crack pipe is telling you. You're listening to what the slot machine is telling you. I mean, I've heard this from many different comics that talk about their addiction to the screens. How they're on TikTok and they're just scrolling. And they know that they've been doing it for far too long. Like they've been scrolling for literal hours. And they think that if they stop, they're going to miss out on something. They're going to miss out on a really good video. The screens are like the most demonic thing in the world. And the reason why they're so demonic is because they involve a visual. That's why they're so addictive. So we have visuals in our heads of people, places, and things, right? So for a lot of people, I hear, oh, well, I miss doing this because of this idea that I have of it. Do you hear that? That's somebody else's music. Shitty music, I might add. Really shitty music that they're playing way too loud. Okay, anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, so we have visuals. Like, you see this with, like, somebody that's really in love with somebody? Like, they've idealized that person to the point of no return. And so they can't let go of the relationship because of their idealization of them. I mean, I know that I've done that. Because, oh, it was so good in the beginning, right? It was so good in the beginning, and we went on this amazing date, and we had this wonderful conversation, or we had incredible sex, or whatever it was. It's the visual. So I forgot the point that I was trying to make. It's not good to think you're bad.
Yeah, like it's I mean, I do think that we have that in us. We can be bad. I mean, one of the cool things about exploring your shadow self is like understanding that that's very much part of you, you know, but that's not all of you. You can do better things. Once you understand the bad that you can do, you really can, you know, choose to embrace the good. I mean, I made a choice to embrace the bad. I made a choice to be as bad as I could be. I mean, I know I could always be worse, but obsession is possession. But yeah, people don't like that word because it's a spiritual term. But if you look at it like it's disease, it's essentially the same thing, because that's what happens when, you know, some sickness takes over you, right? It possesses you. That's what happens with a tumor, right? It spreads. So it's essentially the same thing. That's why Jesus said prayer and fasting. It's the only thing that's going to make it go away. And you have to be extremely vigilant about it, because if you're not extremely vigilant about it, it's going to come back. But, you know, the sickness of it is that we tell ourselves we want it, we tell ourselves we like it, we tell ourselves it's fun, we tell ourselves it's enjoyable, we tell ourselves that we need it, we tell ourselves all kinds of bullshit because we don't know who we are without it. We don't have an identity without it. I mean, I get that. I mean, why do you think that I use toothpicks and pretend to smoke them? I guess it's better than the alternative. I guess it's better than me, like, getting emphysema, which I know would definitely happen, considering how much I love to smoke. But speaking of that, where are my pretend smokes?